Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another rendition of Pick and Roll. We have another week here going with this format of a show as we get through the rest of the NBA Conference semifinals. So, starting next week, we'll likely rebrand and start fresh with some different content for those conference finals. But for the rest of this week, the show will go on as normal as possible, but with the complications, of course, with NBA playoff betting. We may not guarantee a pick every single day, but we do have one for today. We have a big parlay coming your guys' way on the show. As we always do, we will start off the show with a recap of the previous day's play. We don't need to spend too long in it because it was a Friday. We're here on a Monday, but it was a winning day on the show. Jokic and Durant on the SGP did come through. If you doubled down and went with that in yesterday's game, you would have easily crushed that one as well, which puts us back up to double digits in units on the season, a 3.6% ROI. And Pips, just a quick word on this one. We'll spend some more time recapping this series, but on this play in particular, you've liked Durant and Jokic, and you got what you wanted.
Yeah, almost everything went as expected, and it was the same thing last game. So they were actually in the game three. They were actually doing some stunts and double teams on Jokic, so he ended up with 17 assists. Last game they just let him cook, and he scored huge in the last game. I think he at the end had 53 points, career high, unbelievable performance. So last game, our players combined for 89 points. Our bet, unfortunately, it was the Sunday, so we couldn't have it on the show. But if he had this game today, I will bet Durant and Jokic for sure.
Yeah, could have run it back, as Badger Boy says. Maybe somebody did, though. I'm not sure. And big shout out to the Suns for their 2 wins. Matt, I believe Matt is a Phoenix Suns fan here, and enjoyed some ridiculousness from Durant and Booker, which we'll get into a little bit more as we go on through the show. But let's get to the official pick for today's show. We have a big parlay coming through on FanDuel, going for a quarter unit here on something that we have at plus 410. Let's pull that up on screen now. So we're going to the Heat and the Knicks for this one, and we have a 0.25 unit once again, same game parlay here. We're going to take, bear with me, everybody, Randall, 8+ rebounds and under 26.5 points. We're going to take Josh Hart, 6+ rebounds and over 7.5 points. And we're also going to get Max Strus, 10+ points. I'll repeat that again for anybody listening in audio form. It is Randall, 8+ rebounds, under 26.5 points. It is Hart, 6+ rebounds and over 7.5 points. It is Strus, 10+ points. All of this available at FanDuel for plus 410 odds. So going with the big one for today, Pips, you have a lot of leans, as you said pre-show. What do you like about this play for all these players?
So this is considering they limit Mitchell Robinson. So that's if they limit Mitchell Robinson, if he plays again 20 minutes or even under 20 minutes, this should be great. The last game we had Julius Randle with 14 rebounds and Josh Hart. Even though Randle had 14 rebounds, Josh Hart still ended up with 12. He had amazing rebounding series so far. Both of these players, Julius Randle, 2 games, 12 rebounds in the first one, 14 rebounds in the last one. He's just rebounding big. Mitchell Robinson is just trying to box out everyone and doesn't care for defensive rebounds. He's more attacking the offensive rebound. So that's the thing. The second part of this bet, Julius Randle under points. He's getting single cover by Bema Debayo, and it's safe to say that he's struggling. So not
Yeah.
easy for Julius to score. Last game he played 38 minutes and scored only 10 points. Of course, I don't expect him to shoot 4 for 15, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's so far the worst probably ever player in the playoffs if he could consider that his usage in minutes.
Wow.
I think I saw that 32% on 15 or more field goal attempts average is the worst in like the last 30 years or something.
Yeah, he really struggled in game 3, especially out of the gate. Just whole game in general. But yeah,
He struggled in every game so far in the
yeah.
playoffs. I think he had one good game. So On the season, he in playoffs he averaged 15 points in the playoffs on 34% field goals from the field. Yeah, it's something is about the injury. It's something is about just Randall not being able to play the same way he plays in the regular season. So I think this line is way too high for him to cover it against Bema Debayo, who is unbelievable and was unbelievable on defense.
Yep.
George Hart, we have quickly probably out for this game, so Josh Hart remains in the lineup. And Josh Hart, all three games against in this series, he had 10, 14, and 15 points, 12, 11, 12 field goal attempts. I think he was almost maybe probably around 100% of covering this with double-digit field goal attempts. Didn't check for the entire season, but I think it's 100% when he get double-digit field goal attempts that he's covering this line.
Right.
So he last three games in the series against the Heat, 12, 11, 12, no quickly tonight. So I think Josh will get good volume. I mean, we just need he can cover this in like 7 to 8 attempts. So if he getting 10 plus, this should be great. And on the rebounding part, first game of the series, it was there wasn't Randall wasn't playing. He had 8 rebounds. So I was thinking, okay, when Randall gets back, we'll probably see some downswing of his rebounding. 2 games with Randall, 11 rebounds, 12 rebounds. So it's safe to say that Josh Hart is rebounding. And if we take a look at the entire season of Josh Hart, when he played 30 plus minutes, I think he's covering this line in like 80% or 90% of the games. So he's covered this line in 53 out of 59. So 90% of the games with 30 plus minutes. And I expect him to have 35 or more minutes tonight because quickly, doubtful, is quickly is not playing. They will need Josh Hart a lot. And the
Yep.
last part is Struz finally getting utilized in this series. Had great game two, great game three in this series. He had trouble with against the Bucks as they weren't helping on Jimmy Butler, so he couldn't get any looks. So he had very poor series. But last 2 games he scored 17 and 19 points. So yeah, last game 14 field goal attempts, and I expect a lot from Struz in this series without Hero. I don't know why it took so long for him to step up, but they need his shooting, his cutting, everything he does is pretty good for this team, and I expect him to score 10 plus points tonight.
Yeah, yeah. All of this makes sense on Josh Hart's side. I mean, without quickly, I think we're going to get like at least 40 minutes from him, maybe even into the mid 40s or so. This is a must-win game for the New York Knicks, and Thibodeau is they got to win this game, and Tibbs is going to go down with his guys for sure. That's the way he's always been.
Yeah,
That's the way he'll be
we
today.
also could see some small ball lineups. I think Randall 5 could be some adjustment made
Yeah,
from
yeah,
tips. Yeah, so Hart will have both Hart and Reynolds will rebound everything.
yeah.
So yeah.
So, like this play, we get that at plus 410 for a quarter of a unit. Let's try to cash this one in. All right. We're going to also talk about the 2 games that we saw yesterday because we had some amazing games, the Sixers and Celtics game, as well as the Suns and Nuggets game. And we'll also preview a little bit of maybe talk about predictions for the score for this game, but also go a little bit more in depth on the Warriors and the Lakers. But let's start off with the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers. As always, guys, if you have any questions for us in the chat, please let us know and we'll be happy to get to them. But this was a great game for Pips to watch because his man, James Harden, was excellent and was just was excellent in the clutch. I mean, excellent all game, but he had the field goal, the little floater at the buzzer pretty much to send this one to OT. Also had the corner 3 to give the Sixers that 1-point lead, which they held for the last possession. I'll have a little bit of qualms I want to discuss with Joe Mazzulla, but 42 points from Harden. Sixers must-win game, essentially. Make this a 2-2 series. Where do you think this series is going forward? What do you make of this game?
difficult for them to win on the road, but they can win at the home. So maybe hoping for game 7, and then who knows.
Yeah.
I'll say James Harden had unbelievable game. That's obvious, but Embiid didn't have great game, especially in the fourth quarter in overtime. Especially in the fourth quarter, he was gassed. He made some mistakes on defense, and I hated Doc Rivers in the fourth quarter. Man, like you had Harden killing in the pick and roll, killing in isolation, and killing them whenever they play pick and roll. Whenever someone sets the screen for Harden, he was just cool, great, unbelievable. He was toying with them. And then in the fourth quarter, I don't know if you watched the
Yeah.
game, entire
Yeah.
game. Fourth quarter, every single possession going for post up on Embiid and very far out, and it will take them like 10 to 15 seconds to even get the ball to him, and he will get doubled and he'll pass out to James Harden with 5 seconds on the clock, and that's it.
And that's what
Very,
happened at the buzzer pretty much in
yeah,
regulation. It was
yeah.
Harden at the end of the shot clock had to come up with something magical, and he did.
So you have Harden going everything for him. Just get the ball in Harden's hand, make him beat, set pick and roll. They will collapse on Embiid or Harden, and then you have 2-on-2 game. Like, okay, if you were trying to, I don't know, they were down 10, so you know, want some threes or anything, okay, makes sense. But you are up 10, you just need to slow down and play to your strength, and that's pick and roll with Embiid and Harden. And that's how they won at the end in the fourth quarter with playing pick and roll with these two guys or posting up and beat way deeper inside. But yeah, I was furious, and we could see some good adjustments from the team. So whenever Tucker is on the court, Time Lord was on the court because he was roaming off Tucker on defense. Then whenever Niang came in for Tucker, Mazzulla immediately pulled out Time Lord and put back in three guards lineups so they can exploit Niang defense. And Niang stood up his ground way better than anyone expected in this series.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's some interesting adjustment in game and during the like every possession there was some adjustment, but I hated fourth quarter from the 76ers, and I hope we don't see much of it moving forward. And all four for completely locked down Joel Embiid in so many possessions.
Yeah, the important to remember, despite Harden's heroic slate, the Sixers were up by 9 going into the fourth, so it was a poor fourth quarter, as you said. They only scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. They needed a little bit of help from the Celtics, I think, especially in overtime. Celtics struggled late. They were up by 4 really late in this game. They couldn't finish. They couldn't close it out in overtime. Like there was a clear offensive foul from Jason Tatum on a 3 that he hit, which kept the Celtics kind of
Yeah,
in business in overtime. The ref
yeah,
was right there. I can't believe he didn't call that, but
yeah.
I guess
And yeah,
go
that
ahead.
was they were down 2, and when they made the 3, they were up 1.
Yeah, yeah,
Imagine if that's offensive foul. You are down 2, and Sixers have possession, like almost in a very terrible, difficult spot, and then you score that, and you are up 1, and then I am also not sold on that Marcus
the
Smart.
charge. That
Yeah,
oh my
that
god,
was
that was
so
not a
frustrating.
charge as
Yeah,
well.
and that's overtime crucial NBA playoff game, and refs fall again for Marcus Smart flopping. If it was like Derek White or Tatum, I would say okay, like, but Marcus Smart is well, and also on the other side when they were in bonus, a foul on
Yeah, the Tucker
Tucker,
screen.
that was
Yeah,
also a huge flop. Like I don't understand how refs. So if you watch the entire game, you saw. I think there was two landing zone fouls on James Harden that didn't be that weren't called.
yeah,
That's happening to James Harden a lot because he's always on the edge there, and they are not going to give anything to him because he's trying to get the most out of it, and the refs knows it, and they don't give him those calls, and that's okay. not okay, but that's okay because he is always suspicious when it's a James Harden. But they
Yeah.
need to do the same thing with Marcus Smart flopping. That's like completely. So that's 3 points from that possession on Embiid, 2 points on crazy foul on Tucker that where he flopped, got two free throws. So that's 5 fouls. That's 5 points late into the game on Marcus Smart flopping. That's crazy.
Yeah. And getting the ball on that charge one where he Euro stepped into the lane and that
And
was
he
not a charge for me.
leaned
And
into Embiid.
yeah, and they reviewed it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I don't like the Celtics, so I'll make that bias a little bit known here if I sound a little biased against the Celtics here. But I didn't like how they closed the game. They were in the position to win this one, but they had the last shot in the fourth and the last shot in overtime. They got off a deep three at the end of the fourth from Smart, which was short, and they didn't even get a shot off in overtime. It went
Uh,
in, but it was clearly did not get it off in time. But
Also, I just want to add something
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
on my part. So James Harden in this series had more game tying or game winning shots in playoffs than Steph Curry in the entire career or KD.
Wow.
Yeah,
I have my qualms with Curry at like the last shot moments because I feel
yeah,
like he kind of throws those. But Harden, I'll bring you a little bit down to earth Harden a bit because he was very poor in games 2 and 3. So
yeah.
this was a nice little
Yeah.
makeup game for
Yeah,
sure.
but he
He
won
was
by
amazing.
himself the game one. So
Yeah,
like
game 1 and game 4 were like elite, like top level superstar. Beyond that, then for some reason games 2 and 3 didn't produce. So let's see. But back on the Celtics, I don't mind a coach not calling a timeout. And let us know in the comments. Do you agree with Missoula's decision to not call a timeout? Because Harden's on the court, you call a timeout. McDaniels comes in, you have to do your set against McDaniels rather than Harden. They bring in better defenders, they work on their scheme. So I don't mind not calling a timeout and thinking you have the edge for your matchup. But it felt like there were no plays called. It felt like they just kind of threw something together, like the overtime. Tatum was just trying to fight his way to the rim. Not the worst play in the world, but not even getting a shot off there. I just think it was very poor execution from the Boston Celtics. I'm not blaming Missoula for no timeouts, but I'm blaming him because it looked like they didn't really have anything ready for that sort of moment. And when you're in the playoffs, I feel like you got to be better equipped to handle those high pressure situations because they could have won the game on either of those.
I'll say it was a mistake to not call timeout, and I'll
Right.
just explain why. So the idea was to get it quick on the other side, and if you miss, you can still foul. That's a great idea. That's okay. You go quick. So I think it was like 17 seconds on the shot clock when they started it,
It was
and it
plenty,
was
like plenty of time.
yeah, and it was 7 seconds left, and they still didn't get into any action,
Yeah.
and that's when you call a timeout. So, okay, the idea was rank weak, get into favorite matchups and score, or if you don't score, foul, and you have still another chance. And if that was his idea, that's good idea. I'm okay with that. That makes sense. But 7 seconds left, you didn't get anywhere. No, not even the like. It was on close to the half court line. Tatum just doing nothing. You call a timeout and you make something out of it. So I don't think initial knock timeout call was bad. I think it was a good decision.
Right.
But the late non timeout no call was poor
I
from
think that's the same way me think like if you're not going to call a timeout, you better have something ready to go, which they didn't. So yeah, I guess they could. Our 2 points of view kind of go hand in hand on that one, where it just felt like they weren't prepared for those moments. So we have some amazing games coming up because that series 2-2. Another series that is 2-2 is the Suns and the Nuggets series. I said before the weekend, I'm like, doesn't start till an away team wins, and we still have not had an away team win. The Suns take care of business at home. Um, I was at a movie on Saturday night, so I missed the game. But seeing the stat line afterwards, I couldn't believe my eyes. Devin Booker had 47 points on 20 of 25 shooting, 80% shooting, and he had almost 50 points. That was one of the most outrageous box scores I've ever seen in my life. And he followed it up. Him and KD were unbelievable yesterday as well. KD had 36 on 11 for 19 shooting. Booker had 36 on 14 for 18 shooting. And these are guys like We've talked about the inefficiency of mid-range shots. We've talked about jump shooting inefficiency, but the shot making from these two is just unbelievable. If I don't know if they can sustain this because it's so good, but I don't know. Maybe they can. And if they can, maybe the Suns can ride just these two guys to the next round and beyond potentially because like what do you make of this? This is unbelievable. Like Jokic had 53 points yesterday and the Nuggets lost. So what do you make of this series right now?
So first off, great adjustment from the Suns. I'll say they outshot Denver by 7 threes in the game four. So Suns shot 29 threes and Denver Nuggets shot 22 threes.
Mhm.
And we said the reason we don't see Phoenix winning because they don't shoot enough threes. So they overshot the threes. So that was huge. Another huge part of this is
Shamit.
yeah, Shemet, but I'll say not playing Okoji and Tori Craig. So okay, like our defense is poor. So okay, let's put in guys that can defend but can shoot, and let them not get used on offense or on defense. Let just Jokic do his thing. So we can hide Shemet and Ross and TJ Warren on defense. So if you have them like standing on KCP who is not involved, or on KPJ who is not involved, or they are standing on Gordon who is not involved, you don't have problems with them on defense. And bring so much on offense because KD and Booker were double teamed on every single possession, on every single pick and roll. They were double teamed unbelievable amount of, and it makes a difference. Do you double team of Okoji or you do double team of Shemet or Terence Ross or DJ Warren? Last game, TJ Warren won with 5 points in the last 2 minutes of the game. Huge shots. This game, Shemet. And
Mhm.
that's so easy. Start pick and roll, get double team on Booker, two hockey pass, and wide open three for Shemet in the corner. Simple basketball. I mean, but it works because you have good shooters. And the other, I think Monty very underestimated in this series. He made unbelievable adjustment. So I heard him a timeout. He said, "Run them off the 3 point line. We need to win 3 point battle." So he figured it out. So okay, we will shoot more threes. We'll get more to the line. How they can win? Okay, Nikola Jokic will score 50, but he won't score 50 every night.
Mhm.
So it was unbelievable, and I'm waiting to see some Malone adjustments. But yeah, 2 on 2, they are okay with playing two on two defense against Murray and Jokic.
Rich.
Yeah. So the thing is run them off the 3 point line, let Jokic play one game entire game, don't get anyone else involved. On the other side, I'll shoot them on threes, get more to the free throw line.
Mhm.
So that's great game plan.
It's kind of our concerns pretty serious about the Suns not taking efficient shots. I mean, they just took that and like this is what every coach should be doing, by the way. Every coach should be focused on winning the 3 point battle and getting to the free throw line. And then when you
And
do that, run a great game plan and also have the shot making of KD and Booker, you wind up with these high scoring shootout type games, which the Suns are more than equipped to win. And that's what we
so
got here.
we said KD is mid range shooter, no rim pressure. 29 free throws in 2 games.
Hmm.
It's not that he was getting fouled. He decided to grant to the rim, and that's on Monty Williams. I think he
Yeah.
asked
Yeah.
that for these his two best players. And yeah, I'm very impressed with the adjustment on defense and on offense. Makes sense, very much makes sense to win entire battle, the game
Yeah.
battle. And yeah, Booker 9 games of the playoffs, maybe the best 9 games anyone ever played in first 9 games of the playoffs. I have the
For
numbers.
real.
That's insane. So average during the first 9 games, average 37 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. So 37, 5, and 7 on 62% from the field, 51% from the three. and shooting 6 free throws, almost 90%. That's 60, 50, 90, 37 points in a close where he's double teamed on every possession.
Yeah, that's actually a joke. Like that's
Yeah,
even better than 2K numbers. I said it before we started the stream. I said in the chat that's not even video game. That is better than video
yeah,
game. You
yeah.
dream of being that good at 2K. At least maybe I would. So this
Yeah.
series, I love this about Gate when it's 2-2 and it's game 5, 6, 7. It's all about adjustment. So how is Michael Malone going to counter this now? What are the Nuggets going to counter game 5? Game 5 is going to be so interesting to see.
So the thing about Mike Malone is he's very stubborn, and
Yeah.
he is not good at adjusting during the series. That's the thing I know about Mike Malone that I saw from the last 5 years. So Monty doing a lot of adjustments, like almost changed the entire defensive plan, offensive plan, and entire rotation. He changed everything, like everything from this team. So he went from heavy mid range to more threes, more free throws, rotation, playing Warren, Booker, Shemet, like on the other side, letting. He decided to let Jokic to score 50. Can you just unbelievable? And it works
Yeah.
because MPJ had poor game, Gordon had poor game. Jamal, he's more than happy to. So I'll just read Jamal Murray stats for the last 2 games. It's very, very interesting when you think about it. So, last 2 games, Jamal Murray, game game three, 29 field goal attempts, six only one 3 point made. So he made Jamal Murray set for mid range and not shoot threes, while on the other side Booker and KD are now shooting threes and not that many mid range. Completely changed, reversed the game, reversed the matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for anybody who's missed our discussions about mid-range shooting, like it's you can make your shots in mid-range, but if you make 40%, which is just under NBA average, or let's say 42%, right around NBA average, over 100 possessions, it's 84 points. From three, all you got to do is hit, like you can hit 30% of your threes over 100 possessions. You're still getting more of those mid-range shots. You don't need to make more shots. Sometimes you just need to make more of the higher efficient shots. And when we talk about getting more free throws, it's about getting to the rim. Nobody's going to foul you taking a mid-range shot. They'll foul you a lot at the rim if you're constantly getting that contact and drawing the contact. Refs are just more likely to make those calls. So those are the adjustments the Suns have made. And we're both excited to see how the Nuggets counter that for the next game. And I appreciate this comment here from Showtime. Said he used to just tune in for picks, but now likes the discussions breakdown just as much. So appreciate that from Showtime. And we appreciate you tuning into all these and everybody who's sticking through for these parts. We'll go quickly now. We've gone quite a while here. Let's go quickly now into the Warriors and Lakers game 4 prediction. I'm assuming there's no pick for this game because we had a blowout one way in game 2, a blowout one way in game 3. This is a high variance series, it looks like. What do you make of this series going forward? The Lakers up 2-1.
Yeah, I can't predict adjustments. So
Right.
yeah, that's the thing. I did predicted some well, but still end up poor because of a blowout. So I that's highly gamble game. So like I maybe like Steph Curry under, but maybe they decide to go away from heavy the double teams on him and heavy pressure on him. Maybe I want to go with AD combined rebounds and points, but maybe they go back to double teams on him in inside. So yeah, so I could just pick one and they just first possession see they or adjust on that part and we are screwed. So
Right.
difficult to bet on it.
I
So
remember you said sometimes we'll have like a bet on the show and you'll see the first possession and go, this is going to lose now because they're
yeah,
playing this so differently. So
yeah.
as far as this series goes, for me, I guess looking at this game, like I'll pull up some odds here, courtesy of Betstamp to kind of see what we're doing. Lakers are favored by 3. I kind of support this. It's really hard to make this series up, but I think the Lakers just imploded in game 2. I really, really struggle to get a grasp from a handicapping perspective, but if anybody is taking a flyer on this, please make sure you're shopping with Betstamp and using our affiliate link, betstamp.app/theboard, to sign up to those sports books. Gives us a bit of a kickback and supports the show, but makes you a smarter, better because you're always getting the best price. But this series looks so difficult to handicap. What do you think?
I can. So our listeners and watchers want love the things. So I'll say why Lakers won so easily in that game. So they switched Reeves and Vanderbilt in the series. So they put Vanderbilt on Draymond Green and Reeves on Steph Curry. So they took away Draymond Green pick and roll and dribble hands off with Curry, because now you can just switch Vanderbilt on Curry and you completely kill their offense with it. And so maybe so if they remain the same, maybe we see more isolation from Curry against Reeves. And we spoke
Yeah,
about it on the last show when I
yeah.
said I don't see Curry isolation working well against Vanderbilt. But now that he's on the Reeves, yeah, I'm okay with Steph Curry isolation on the Reeves. So maybe I'll just take away. I forgot. I won't bet anywhere close to Curry under in this game, because they could adjust now to just isolate Curry against Reeves.
That's what I
And
expect. That's what
yeah,
I expect.
yeah. So that's the thing. So yeah, but there will be another adjustment, maybe in lineup, maybe in everything. So we don't
Yeah.
actually know.
Yeah,
So
like Jermichael Green starting game 2. Like, who could have ever predicted that?
yeah,
Right.
and also we had in the game two, game two, we had Steph Curry with 12 assists, because they were high on him and they were icing, blitzing everything on him. But now that he couldn't play so many pick and rolls with Damon Green, he had 3 assists. So if anyone saw, okay, Curry, that double team, let's bet his assist over. You get to the game three and you see 3 assists from Steph Curry, because they completely took a. So it's difficult. Every game we see some adjustment, and no one can predict what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So very
Yeah.
difficult.
That's what's making the playoffs difficult. Anybody curious? Steph Curry's over under is set at 30.5, widely across the board. But, depending on where you're shopping around, you could be at, points bet getting the under at plus 100. You could be at another book like Borgata getting it at minus 120. So line shopping, always the essential part of that. Again, go to our link in the description, betstamp.app/the board to sign up. And just programming notes for the rest of the week. So this will be the last week of pick and roll shows in this format. Me and Pips will still be doing content for the rest of the playoffs. It likely will just be just regular content for the channel, not under pick and roll. So we're going to go through the rest of this week as best as possible. That'll get us into the conference finals, where we said before the playoffs started that we want to just continue this show in this format until the end of the semifinals. So that's what we're going to do. But we'll still be back next week for content. Not sure we'll have it every day. Not sure it'll be same sort of format, but we'll still be doing breakdowns and reactions to games just like this. May not be as betting focused, but we'll do our best in the process. So just keeping you guys on tabs with that one. But pick and roll as the live stream show, as this will be done on Friday. Likely it'll be going to just the board content. Yeah.
Can you just pull out the pick once again for to end the stream?
Yes, of course. To end off, we have the official play here, which was on FanDuel. We have the Warriors, and I have it. No, sorry. I thought I had the graphic wrong. We have the Heat in the Knicks game, and we have the 2.25 unit same game parlay at plus 410. We had it plus 410. I think this has moved a bit, but you still get this one. Randall plus.
It's plus 416 now. I just checked,
Oh,
but it
moved
will
up.
go up and down entirely.
Okay, last time I looked, it was 404. So now it's 416. So I'd say like 400 or better. This one is good to take because you can get a full unit on your 0.25 wager. We have Randall, 8+ rebounds, under 26.5 points. We have Hart, 6+ rebounds and over 7.5 points. And we have Max Strus, 10+ points. That is the official pick for today. Just the one pick in the Heat and Knicks game. Must-win game for the Knicks. And we have some excellent games coming up in the NBA playoffs. We have a bunch of series now at 2-2, and the Warriors and Knicks will be looking to make it 2-2 in their games tonight. So let's see how these all pan out. But pick and roll show stays the same for the rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, and in the Suns Nuggets game, I expect you'll be a fan of potentially some lines on Durant and Jokic. So hopefully we have some picks for that. So we'll hopefully see you guys back here tomorrow at the same time. And thanks again for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more NBA playoff content. Thanks again.